A good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you are streaming live. It is the World Contraception Day 2021 Youth Webinar, and we're excited to have you join us this afternoon. So we are streaming live from the stage Facebook page, as well as the Public Health Ambassadors Uganda Facebook and YouTube page. And we are excited to have all the different young people and stakeholders join this afternoon, where we're going to hold conversations around contraception. Now, we all know that every 26th day of September, reminds us or gives us an opportunity to reaffirm our different innovations regarding to contraceptive use, as well as giving every woman and their partner a chance to make an informed decision in terms of the number of children they want to have and when they want to have them. So once again this afternoon, we are gathered here live, and we're going to have conversations around contraception and contraceptive access and utilization. So in today's theme, the theme is improved or innovations for improved access to contraceptives among young people, and we're excited to have different representatives among young people join us to have these conversations, and also an opportunity for stakeholders from different places to share their experiences in terms of the innovations, as well as the experiences of young people in terms of using these innovations. So before we get started, I'm going to invite some of the key stakeholders in organizing this youth webinar who are going to give us opening remarks. I would like to inform our viewers and everyone who has joined live on the different platforms that this youth webinar is brought to you by UNFPA Uganda in partnership with Public Health Ambassadors Uganda, as well as our partners, as I will be introducing them later on. But ladies and gentlemen, for now, allow me invite the team leader from Public Health Ambassadors Uganda, who is going to give us opening remarks in regards to this webinar. Please join me as we welcome Namakula Lilibet.
Can you see me? Hope I'm not too short. Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Yes, thank you. I felt like I was alone in the room. Okay, so my name is Lilibet Namakula, and I'm the team leader for Public Health Ambassadors Uganda. For those of us that don't know us, Public Health Ambassadors Uganda is a youth-led and a youth-serving organization that focuses on issues of young people and their sexual and reproductive health, as well as HIV awareness and prevention. We, of course, use approaches like youth empowerment, health promotion and education, social entrepreneurship, and ICT for health. So, working in over 15 districts across the country, our vision is empowered youth taking ownership and control of their health. On behalf of FAO, I would like to welcome each and every one of you to the World Contraception Day 2021 Youth Webinar. Under the theme, Innovations for Improved Access to Contraceptives for Young People. Thank you for taking the time to join us. We are here to celebrate World Contraception Day with a focus on young people and their increased need for contraceptive care, which covers information and service. This webinar is a platform for young people to not only interact with others, but also share their perspectives on their sexual and reproductive health and contraceptive needs in the new COVID-19 normal. As you know, Uganda's total fertility, maternal mortality, and teenage pregnancy rates remain among the highest globally. The COVID-19 pandemic has not only disrupted the normal way of life, but also created a range of new SRHR challenges, which have then increased the need for contraceptive information and services among young people. The use of modern contraception contraceptive reduces maternal mortality, improves health outcomes for young mothers and their children, and reduces the cost associated to teen pregnancy. In fact, planned pregnancies and births increase the likelihood of attaining higher education levels, which results in financial independence. The government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Health and its implementing partners, have come up with different initiatives to ensure improved distribution, access, and utilization of contraceptives. However, a gap still remains. A lot more needs to be done to promote the availability, accessibility, and acceptability of modern contraceptives among young people, especially young female adolescents. Young females. World Contraception Day reminds us that every woman and girl has a right to freely and responsibly decide when and how many children to have. But she needs to have the information and the means to do so. World Contraception Day also reminds us that we need to constantly raise awareness about the birth control methods available to a young woman or girl and her partner to enable them to make a safe and informed decision regarding their reproductive health. It's important to remember that all of us, I mean each and every one of us, have a role to play in making this possible. This event is intended to generate ideas and views, cultivate recommendations, solutions, and innovations for improved access to contraceptives for young people. It is my hope that you all feel free to interact and to share your experiences and to learn from the discussion. Once again, I want to thank you for accepting our invitation and for taking the time to participate. Thank you to our partners, UNFPA, The Stage, Guttmacher Institute, and the Austrian Development Corporation, among others, for the support and the collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Once again, that is Namakula Lilibet, the team leader, Public Health Ambassadors Uganda. And just to remind everyone that has joined in. We have the hashtags for this year's youth webinar, and the production team has or will be uploading those hashtags on the screens. So please share them, invite other young people and everyone else to join in, as we're going to have an amazing afternoon holding conversations around increase or innovations for improved access for contraceptives among young people. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me invite another partner in ensuring the success of this webinar. From UNFPA, ladies and gentlemen, allow me invite Anne Sizomu, who is also the adolescent and young or youth consultant. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Anne Sizomu to give us opening remarks, coming right from UNFPA Uganda. Yes.
Thank you very much, Johnson. And my name is Anne Alan Sizomu, a program specialist for adolescent and youth SRH at UNFPA, Uganda Country Office. I'm very pleased to be really here, and I want to thank a very vibrant youth organization, FAO, for the partnership and collaboration and ensuring that we have a youth-focused webinar alongside the World Contraceptive Day, which is celebrated in September. So I would also, in the same vein, would like to appreciate Ministry of Health, especially the Adolescent and School Health Division, that has provided leadership throughout this month in terms of organizing the World Contraceptive Day. And I would like to say thank you to the partners who have been part of this, and especially the stage partner. Would also like to thank the Australian Development Corporation that has made, that has supported us and provided also resources for having this youth-focused webinar, and supported other World Contraceptive Day activities that have taken place. As UNFPA, we strongly believe in gender equality and empowerment of women and girls, and elimination of all forms of violence against women. This includes addressing issues around teenage pregnancy and child marriage. We need to recall that Uganda made commitments during what is popularly known as the Nairobi Summit, or the ICPD Plus 25, which included eliminating obstacles that stand in the way of girls' empowerment. This includes teenage pregnancy and child marriage, as well as gender-based violence, and also the commitment which also relates to us as young people is also the national school, the national sexuality education framework, where Uganda committed to really operationalize it. And these are very key in terms of the sexual and reproductive health fulfillment of young people. I think it's also important to remember that the current state of sexual and reproductive health and rights indicators currently in Uganda demand an integrated and innovative action, especially for adolescents and young people in Uganda. In a country like Uganda, where we have 76% of the population already under the age of 30, and the growing rates of teenage pregnancy means that there's a huge bulge and high dependency ratio in years to come. And this means that there's more that needs to be done if we are to avoid the reversal that has been made, and also ensure that we attain the sustainable development goals. What is also important to note is that the Uganda Demographic Health Survey notes that we have 1 in 4 teenagers below the age of 19, either pregnant or having a child, and that is way too much. And as a result, we have also very high maternal deaths occurring, where we have 28% of maternal death occurring among young women, 15 to 24. And also it's important to note that we still have early sex debut for young people at 16.9 for females and 18.5 for the males. The high unmet need for family planning among adolescents is also a key concern. So what this means, we have adolescents who would like to use contraceptives but are unable to actually access the contraceptives due to different barriers. And that means that we're having more pregnancies also out of the unmet need of family planning or contraceptives for adolescents. COVID has already met us when we have a teenage pregnancy pandemic. So the situation has only become worse. And according to really the first half of what we call the DHIS data, that comes from the district, we find that 52% of maternal deliveries were recorded among young people less than 25 years of age. So when we look at that, 22% of all abortion cases are reported during the same period were among adolescents 10 to 19. So we're having the young people getting pregnant when they're not ready, but at the same time we're seeing that there's also high rates of abortion that are happening within this period. So it's very important that we do more. So when we take note as UNFA, the 3 areas or transformative results that we look at achieving: the zero unmet need for family planning, ensuring that every woman that requires family planning can actually get; then zero gender-based violence and other harmful practices; and then the eliminating preventable maternal death. So it's very important that we remember this and also look at this. Aligns very well with what Uganda would want to do under the National Development Plan 3, which is now in place. But also key for us to note is that we need to really see teenage pregnancy as a hindrance to really socioeconomic development and look at it from a multi-sectoral perspective. The moment we reduce teenage pregnancy as a health issue, then we're also losing the plot. We need to look at it that this young person, what happens to them when they get pregnant? It means lost opportunities for the young person, but also lost opportunity for the community and Uganda at large. Because once you get pregnant, it's very hard, even when we know for Ministry of Education, there's the return to school policy where it allows the girls to return, to school as a second chance. We know there's a lot of stigma around that, and there are a lot of reasons why a girl may not return, including how the parents and society looks at the girl, and the stigma also is a hindrance for this girl. If I go back, what will the teachers, what will my peers say? So we need to address such hindrance that exist within the society to ensure that the girls actually have information and have the skills, have the knowledge, and they're empowered to actually make the decisions regarding their health and their bodies in a way that they're reducing the vulnerability. So it's very important that we remember that. And as UNFF, we've worked around the area of innovation with different social entrepreneurs or companies, which include like access to information, which also includes things like reporting on gender-based violence. We have what some of you may know as SafePal. We have a collaboration with Jumia, which is the e-shop, and you'll hear later someone talking about that, which is an innovation during COVID, that young people are able to access the contraceptives as a way amidst the lockdown and, and the challenges that are coming as a result. So it's very important that we look at all that we can do as individuals and as development partners, as parents and communities, to ensure that the young people can actually realize their potential and are able to really access the services that they need, and also in a respectable way, and ensuring that the supplies are also available, because if the supplies are not available for those who need them, then there's a challenge. Let us all remember that we can reverse the teenage pregnancy pandemic, but we cannot do it as a lone agency, organization, or private sector. We all need to come together, and also remember that we need to look at young people as a resource. The young people here and the young people out there online are a resource, and they have solutions also when it comes to teenage pregnancy. So as a result, if we all work together, we'll find a solution and then reverse the teenage pregnancy pandemic, as well as other hindrances that do not allow young people to realize their SRH needs and enjoy their life fully, as well as realizing their potential. So we all need to do our part, because 1 in 4 is too much of our adolescent girls getting pregnant. So you can imagine, if we are here and we counted 25, let's say 25 people were in the room and all were under the age of 19, so 4 of us would be pregnant. So that's how we need to look at the 1 in 4. It's not just numbers, it's the girls out there that are getting pregnant, and also their future being able, and inequalities also increasing as a result of teenage pregnancy. So I would like to thank all the partners, Ministry of Health, and wish you all the best, and looking forward to hearing quite a lot from the young people, and also the innovations around access to contraceptives. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anne. Those have been the remarks from Anne Sizomo, coming from UNFPA Uganda. So to everyone who has joined us online, what do you think about, or what comes to your mind in regards to the theme, innovations for improved access to contraceptives for young people? Please, you can share your experiences or your ideas. For the young people, what experiences do you have in regards to accessing contraceptives in Uganda? What experience do you have for the different contraceptives in terms of access, utilization? Kindly share in the comment sections, and our production team will be sharing some of those experiences. And as you share them, please do not forget the hashtags WCDUG21 hashtag, and the second is the hashtag the stage UG. You please include the hashtags as you share, and we shall be uploading those different comments. Now, also, as Anne shared, there are a number of innovations that are in place. Some of them are known to some of us. Some of them maybe they are not known. So this is also an opportunity for every young person to know some of the innovations in regards to accessing contraceptives that are in place. And we will have an opportunity for the different stakeholders to share some of these innovations, as well as the young people to share some of the experiences in regards to accessing or utilizing some of these innovations. But right now, as we said, this is a platform for young people to hold conversations around contraception, a platform for young people to share experiences, in regards to their access and utilization from the different backgrounds and wherever or locations in terms of geography. So we're going to have what we call a fireside chat, where we're going to have young people sharing experiences. This is going to be interesting because we're going to have young people representing many of us, and it will give us an opportunity to hear from them. Some of their experiences are similar to what we have experienced before. Some of them maybe they are unique. They give us an opportunity to learn. But also, you as a young person who is following online, you could still throw in your experience in the comment section. And of course, we shall have an opportunity to share them. Because at the end of the day, we want an inclusiveness for all of us in terms of sharing our experiences. So, as I'm getting ready, as we're getting ready for the fireside chat, we're gonna have a presentation. Now, last year, we are all aware that it marked the beginning of the pandemic, the COVID-19, and in the third month of the year is where Uganda went into lockdown after confirming its first case. As Anne shared, before the pandemic, there was already a pandemic of teenage pregnancy. So the COVID-19 pandemic that came with a different restriction even made it worse. Now, that meant, of course, disruptions in terms of accessing contraceptives, as well as different experiences for young people when it comes to accessing contraceptives. So, Makerere School of Public Health, alongside Public Health Ambassadors Uganda and the Guttmacher Institute, held a research around contraceptive access for young people during the new normal, which came also with the lockdowns and the things that we are aware of. And this research revealed a number of findings, and also it gives us an opportunity to have or hold conversations around those findings. Now, the research gives us an idea of the findings, and also it's interesting that we shall have young people share their experiences. Maybe they are related to some of those findings. So before we have the young people share the experiences, we're gonna have a representative from Makerere School of Public Health share with us briefly the highlights in terms of findings of this research. Ladies and gentlemen, coming from the Makerere School of Public Health, allow me to invite Lillian Gibwa to take us through a presentation that is highlighting some of the findings from our research on contraceptive access for adolescents in Uganda during the year 2020. Yes, Lillian, you are welcome.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to you all. Yeah, so in front of you now is Lillian Gibwa, a representative of the School of Public Health and the Guttmacher Institute, just like I have been introduced. And I'm going to take you through our findings that we found from our research that was entitled, can we please have the presentation? Okay. So the research was entitled Access to Contraceptive Services Among Adolescents in Uganda During the Pandemic of COVID-19. Just to give you a brief background of this research, Uganda has one of the youngest populations in Uganda, and majority are under the age of 30, that is 78%, and about half are under the age of 15, Total fertility, maternal mortality ratio, and teenage pregnancy rates remain among the highest globally. Despite the tremendous efforts made by the government in the health sector, demand for HIV and sexual reproductive health and rights services is still on the rise. So why we conducted this study? Previous studies had found out that actually the COVID-19 lockdown restrictions had negatively impacted health service delivery. But our interest was mainly on contraceptive services for adolescents. Let's fail to move. Can we have this? This is not moving. Thank you. So what we found out from this research is that actually there were smaller and shorter pandemic-related disruptions in adolescent access to these services, and there's a temporary drop in April and May 2020, the first month of total lockdown. But thereafter, May to December, services got back to what was expected, as we shall see in the detailed results. We also found out that actually these improvements after May were due to the resilience of the health system. Use this. The improvements that were seen after May were because of the resilience of the health system, which continued to provide services, and the impact of actions by partners to support access to the reproductive health supplies and services. So we used 4 main sources of data. We used the Health Management Information System data, which is data that is routinely reported in the DHIS2 system by health facilities. We also had some data from service providers, private providers, 2 of them, and we also had data from the PMS survey, that is the Performance Monitoring for Action survey, which is conducted annually about family planning for women in Uganda. So we had 2 national data platforms and data from 2 service providers. But for the HMIS specifically, we looked at monthly data. For PMA, we calculated the modern contraceptive prevalence rate for April 2019 and September 2020, which were representatives of the before COVID and after COVID, as we shall see. So results for private provider 1, the first 2 months, like we are seeing, May and April of the year of 2020, we see a decline. Red is the observed, like what was actual, and the blue is the projected. So we see that in April, there was actually a drop in these services by adolescents. But after April, we see a rise up to the end of the year. This is still consistent with data from private provider 2, where we still see a dip in April and improvements thereafter. So from the third source, which is the HMIS data, the blue line, which is down, is 2018, the red is 2019 and the green is 2020, monthly. So we can see the green line of 2020 dropping. We can see it in April, where we have a red arrow showing a decline in family planning visits by adolescents 10 to 19 years. But after April, we see a rise up to the end of the year. For PMA data, where I mentioned that April 2019 was representing before COVID and September 2020 representing after COVID, we see a rise. If we look at the last column of this table, which is the risk ratio of 1.37, it shows us an improvement of 37% of the access of family planning services by adolescents. So our recommendations from our study, if we focus on the last bullet here, we recommend that the adaptations and processes that helped ensure continuity of services during the COVID-19 restrictions need to be documented, and these can be used in case of any future crisis, like we've seen improvements after April. Also, on this last slide, we can focus on the last bullet, where we recommend that actually contraceptive services should be taken as essential and integrated in case of any pandemic, either before, during, or after. If at all these services are rendered essential, we may not see these drops in April. Like, we may not see the drops during the restrictions like we've seen in April for these data that we analyzed. Thank you so much for the audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is the presentation from a research conducted by Makerere School of Public Health in partnership with Guttmacher Institute and Public Health Ambassadors Uganda. As you can see, the findings are majorly from the data of 2020, of course, in comparison with the 2019 and 2018 data. Now, what does it mean for the young person? Again, like I mentioned, would like to know your experiences. What was it like accessing contraceptives during this entire time of the pandemic? Because now we are operating in the new normal. What are the challenges? What has changed? What are you experiencing? And throw in some of your ideas for new innovations and how things can be improved on your side in terms of improving the access of these contraceptives for your utilization. Now, before I invite the fireside chat, I'm going to request the production team. The production team is going to play the video number 1, which is an interesting World Contraception Day 2021 themed poetry video for us to see and get some insights in regards to availing opportunities for young people in terms of contraceptive use. The video is titled Pregnancy by Choice. After that video, I'll be able to invite an interesting session that is going to involve young people holding conversations around different experiences in regards to contraceptive use. Ladies and gentlemen, let's turn to the screens for the poetry video.
blossom of blessings, embodiment of wonderful mystery, legacy of human existence, captivating wonder. Carrying you is a beautiful blessing, and bringing you to this world is a bittersweet pill I don't mind swallowing. For you are life and a joy to many women and men. Yes, children are important, but should I not be in charge of the choice of when to have them, of how to have them, of why to have them, of where to have them, and with whom to have them? Let pregnancy be a choice not to drop out of school, a choice to nurture my career aspirations, a choice to decide when to get pregnant. Let life bloom better as we bounce back better, as we recover stronger, rolling back teenage pregnancies, innovating ways for increased access to contraceptive methods. Let us encourage planned pregnancies, for life is much better when decided upon. Life is much better when decided upon.
Thank you very much, production team.
Every woman and girl has the right to freely and responsibly
Thank you very much, production team. Okay, we'll have that second video later on, but right now, I'm going to invite the moderator for this session, who will then invite the different members or the young people on the panel. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me invite Winnie Apio from UNFPA, who is going to be moderating this interesting session. And as she comes forward, I want to remind all the young people that are live online, please listen to these experiences, but also feel free to drop in your experiences in the comment sections, and we will be sharing them. Ladies and gentlemen, Winnie Apio.
I'm sure I deserve a louder hand clap. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, well, I am very young and lively, and I'm glad to be in a room filled with so many other young and lively gentlemen and ladies. So I'm just going to give us a catchphrase. I know this is a fireside chat, but we're going to make it a bit more lively. We want, I hope it's allowed, but we want these guys to know that there's young people in this room, yes? Yes? Okay, so our catchphrase is going to be in line with the theme of Ministry of Health, which is rolling back teenage pregnancies. So when I scream rolling back teenage pregnancies, you scream make contraceptives accessible to us, yes? Yes? Do you feel energized? Okay. Rolling back teenage pregnancies? Accessible to us. Great, great. So I'll just keep throwing that in as we discuss. So yes, my name is Winnie Apio, as Johnson has introduced. I work with UNFPA as an independent consultant, working with adolescents and youth. I am very, very excited to be moderating this very energetic panel of young people. And as I introduce them, I will ask them to come right up. And then as we go on, they will also have a chance to just speak to us. To begin with, we have Luyinda Hindu Gloria, who is a peer educator. Yes, from We Talk series Uganda. We also have Josephine Namuyingo. Josephine, are you here? Okay, as we wait for Josephine to join us, I would like to also invite Namaya Anja Sheriat, who is Miss Y Plus, Central Region. And then finally, I would also like to invite Jacob Eyeru, Chairperson, National Youth Council of Uganda.
Rolling back teenage pregnancies?
Wow, guys. Okay, make contraceptives accessible to us, yes. Okay, thank you. As my panel continues to join me, Josephine Namuyingo, can I just check if she's in? Okay, I hope Josephine will join us as she's around, having tea. Ah, okay, okay, great. Yes, so thank you very much. I will just ask as we begin for my esteemed panel to just quickly give us a brief introduction. So I will start from the left with Jacob. If you can just tell us who you are, where you're from, and what your favorite food is.
Very good afternoon to everyone. I'm not sure if we're permitted to remove our masks on the panel, but if we're not, I will hope that at the end of the day we can have a photo without them while on the panel.
Okay. Johnson has informed me that that the microphones have been sanitized, so it should be fine.
So I think that will suffice.
Just don't sneeze. Or cough.
Thank you so much. So my name is Jacob Eyeru. I come from a place my accent doesn't represent. I come from Teso. That's Soroti district. I volunteer as the chairperson of the National Youth Council. So I have had a lot about the issues of the youth, least the ones that you've not had. I definitely am happy to be here. My favorite food is kalo and pested fish. Pested dry fish. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jacob, and we look forward to hearing your thoughts as we go on. Shariat?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Namanja Shirat.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Namanja Shirat. I'm the Miss Y Plus 2020-2021 for Central Region. And I was the first runner-up regionals. This is my face, so if you pass by me, please say hi. Yeah, and I also work with Uganda Network of Young People Living with HIV as a policy and advocacy officer. So yeah, I've been in the field with young people, and I'm a young person as well. I'm not a food person, so my favorite food is definitely junk food.
That makes you a food person. Thanks. Thanks, Shirat, yes. Josephine?
Hello everyone, I'm Namingo Josephine from Naguru Teenage Center. I'm a peer mother. My favorite food is rice and liver.
Wow. Thank you, Josephine. And then finally, Gloria.
I'm sorry that I'm going to leave my mask on, but I have my interpreter who understands me well. Is it okay if I remove it? Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Hindu Luinda Gloria. And yes, I'm a peer educator from Uganda, Naguru Health Center, and also I'm a communicator from concerning health, and an advocate for people living with disability. My favorite food is I eat a lot of food for sure. I can't choose which is the best for me, but that's me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, and thank you to our wonderful panel. So just to dive in, this panel is really benchmarking on the fact that we have acknowledged today that young people are a resource and that we really are the ones who have the answers to the problems that we are facing. So while we are commemorating World Contraceptive Day today and looking at rolling back teenage pregnancies by making contraceptives accessible to young people, we will be having a variety of input from all these different young people from different areas and walks of life. So to begin with, I just want to address my first question to Josephine. As a background of the video, and just, following from the video that we have just watched, I thought I would pull you in so the conversation has some flow. If you can, and if you're willing to, would you please share with us your story, including some of the challenges that you faced prior to, becoming a teen mom?
Okay. My story is kind of long, but I'm going to cut it short.
Sure.
Yeah, anyway, I remember I was in my VAC, Form 4 VAC. Then I got this guy, like, we're dating. So, like, we're dating, but the guy was a Nigerian. So just because I lacked information, I lacked information about safe sex. I didn't know anything because I was still young. I was 18 years old. So this guy convinced me and was like, let's play sex. And he was like, I'm going to do a withdrew. So after that, I just accepted. Yeah. Then after a while, like, what's happening? Like, my breasts, mood swings. So I was so scared because by that time I was staying with my parents. I got so scared. So I had to face my mom. I went back, I told her that I tried to convince him, but he was like, no, that's not my baby. So I had to face all the challenges, all the problems. All the neighbors were on me. My friends distanced themselves from me. So I had no friends. I couldn't know what to do. But after a while, I went to Nagoro Teenage Center. Like, before being, I had no money. I could just rely on my parents. And then after, they were like, you know what? Be here. We're going to support you. They are so supportive. My baby.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that story with us, Josephine. And later on, we'll come to you, others. Shirat, we acknowledge that young people who are living with some of the challenges that young people living with HIV have faced, especially in regard to being able to access contraceptives.
Withdrew, and some of them were living with their partners, some of them were living with their parents. But of course, we can't deny the fact that some of them were sexually active without their parents. The services weren't available. I'll give an example of most of the family planning methods that are there, the injector plans and the pills mostly. We do not have such services for young people because, of course, they are young people. And then I think that majorly came up with age, because as a young services, and then you should wait until you're older. And yet this young person is already active sexually, and they just needed help accessing family planning. And then they'll tell the children themselves, do not choose any of that. Because of this also becomes myths. They have issues concerning them, they will not produce once they use them. All those myths and misconceptions around them also kind of young people cannot access FP at all, because some health facilities have an agenda of you do not come with a parent, you're not you have to come with a parent. Even though you're 18 or 19, you still have to come with a parent.
Yeah.
And it limits them to getting these know how to use these services, even if they do access them. Recently, we were in Germany, and young him, and they're all just looking at whatever he was opening. And then when he got it out, everyone was there. That young people know, but in actual sense, they do not.
Yeah.
Referring again to Ajumani, in Ajumani, when you want service, be like, oh, I need condoms. Can you get them for me? And then they'll have to wait at night or go somewhere a little bit far from where they are to access the service.
Are there any challenges that you would say speak uniquely to young people who are
Health worker told them, oh, you're preventing yourselves from getting pregnant, or from getting pregnant or getting HIV. You're already HIV positive. So what are you really do? Just give up the whole thing. So I'm not allowed to get any kind of family planning.
I as well will come back to you for more face, and we also want to acknowledge that young people are not, a homogeneous group. We all have different unique challenges, with disabilities, already faced challenges as regards to access, availability, as
Okay, I'm going to explain. Now, remember, when the government tries to close here and there, and now the transportation services, public services were burned down, and the communication. An interpreter who could facilitate me through communication is far. Now, how can I be able to access the medication? How? So it was really so bad. But when it comes to other brothers and sisters who are profound deaf, they don't know how to write. Some of them are on the streets. Others, now sometimes you may find that others have already started business on the streets, and when the government announced the lockdown, services from the hospital due to the communication barriers. Thank you.
thank you so much by your fellow young people to whom you answer. Yes, so we know that the National Youth clearly that this also includes a creation of awareness as well as action around their health rights. So in regard to the current rise of National Youth Council is taking or has already taken to deal with this problem, you could even give us a
All of you belong if you're between 18 and 30 in Uganda. But because we are a part of the UN, it also caters for issues of people that come from 50 there. But legally, it's 18 to 30. What we do is threefold. The first is to unite the young people of Uganda into services that are undue to young people. In executing this task, we work with all friends of young people. And by that assertion, we depend on TV and how they talk. Many of them came from National Youth Council leadership structures. And so I don't know what name of a first politician comes to your mind when you experiences. Why I am at the National Youth Council and why I took up that space is because I think that there is a lot of power in having political voices. You have an advocate who actually works with people living with HIV, and you can hear stories firsthand. It's different when you're dealing with reports from Ministry of things that do not fit into the human picture that you need to work for the people. And so that's what we are dealing with. And so it was sexual reproductive health and rights and HIV/AIDS. Why? Because this country is very young. That is population-based is basically a representation of the facts of our young people, because that's the chunk of the country. If we have SDGs that want to end HIV as a public health threat by 2030, then you need to focus that on that population to mandate 5 program area kind of strategic plan, and that's our first area. So I'll stick tease on people who speak about these things from the political lens. The expertise are people like you, people who actually go to the field. People like Shirat, right, a political talk show. People will think you're politicking. But you need to hear it from her to know that actually it's something that's real. The challenge we have is a detachment much more than how they really are. So most of our leadership is not fact and evidence based. It is based on what are the religious leaders going to say about this? What are the school heads going to say? It's the same thing we're facing with sexuality education now, that you have a challenge where there are needs everyone agrees to because you've given them data, but they A, B, C, and D. While you're still talking about the Christian country, the Muslim country comes up. While you're talking about that, something else comes up. So you need to have allies in that political sense of the pandemic's effects and now having 25% of teenage pregnancies, of all pregnancies being early and teenage. We have launched our own campaign. Teenage pregnancy in Uganda is not wrong choices per se. It is forced marriages. The World Health Organization research that was also with UNAIDS actually. And so if we force more teenagers to get married, and the statistics confirmed it, you'll find that they don't get into marriages to sit there. They get into marriages and immediately start bearing children. What this shared, Josephine, I think? Yeah, shared. People who just do something, they don't know what they've done, and they run away. Pregnancies in the future, it would mean that we, the leaders of our generation, betrayed it. I'd have to deal with that either as Prime Minister of the country or as President of the country. What we have had challenges on is knowing who is in this space. So when I came in, I knew people like Richard Hand. Then the first thing I did was to ask someone to get me there. The first thing we did was sign a memorandum of understanding. What we need is a concerted effort. And as much as our voices can complement your work, we'll do that. One of the things I found out was there are just about 42 in Eastern Uganda at Charles, at SRHR. I'm now going to throw needs to do so, to speak. If you need Minister A, B, C, and D to speak, so it's actually a voice of, I will get them for you. For me, that's my pleasure I can do.
Yeah, I wanted to supplement on one of the challenges I was trying to explain earlier when it comes to social distancing. So when it comes to social distancing, a person who is blind, how this person access the services from the health centers. Now, for example, you find someone who's in a wheelchair, how even some of the facilitation comes to information, some of us, they don't know what is going on. They don't know. They don't know how to, when it comes to, when they conceive, some of them are lucky, some of them, they don't actually know what is happening. So when it comes to social distance, some of them have given up when it comes to this, people living with disabilities. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, and thank you for interrupting me, because your voice is very, very valid and very much needed. Something Jacob said, that there's a lot of power in having people speak to and about their experience. And so, if you could just give us an idea, based on your experience, based on the people you work with, based on the people you represent, what are some of the things that we as partners, we as young people, the old methods are not working? What is it that we can do? What are we suggesting as young people to make things much better? I will start with Shirat.
To teenage pregnancies, just like Josephine talked about, she had no information. And when it comes to information, I too had no. Tell me, you look 12, why do you want to have information about that? And I had to push for it. But when it comes to such information, it should be enforced in a way of, we have sections emphasized. We look at the talking compound as something that talks to our young people, but it doesn't. At times, it's even condemning. Don't have sex, you'll get HIV. Don't have sex, you'll get pregnant. And this is a young person who is actively, because they think that is the real truth. But if these PSA lessons are more emphasized, because yes, we are scared of letting our little young ones or our young people know about sexual reproductive health and all that, but in actual sense, we are helping them, because these are things myths and misconceptions, very many issues, but it should be looked at according to grades, because the same thing it's not the same thing you're going to tell to a senior 5 that you will tell to a P7. These are two different people, but we're also looking at the fact that these young people are growing so much during COVID. That into consideration, and not forget that these are young people after all. We are adventurous. We want to see what more. You're telling us not to do this. Okay, I'll do it because you're telling me not to do it. These are young people we are dealing with. We should, if we are enforcing this, it should be something that should be brought into the Ministry of Health as well should help, the Ministry of Education.
Right, I think I picked out an importance of information, and then also, you know, the fact that TikTok, you mentioned TikTok, and I'm glad it came up. It has to come up in almost every young people's conversation. But yes, perhaps that could be a great channel for us to also use.
Yeah, first of all, yeah, we can making aware of them, where these accessibility are, these services where they can access them from, understand how to help these people. When it comes to SHRS, yeah, when it comes to that, for example, maybe I come with I don't know what the emotions, the feelings, the attitude. So some of them, they don't know when it comes to people living with disability. Some of them, they don't know the difference between sensitizing them. So some of the disabled sisters and brothers miss these chances. They don't know where to go. They don't know whom is responsible, who is concerned. So, and I'm telling you, there are more teenage pregnancies out there with people living with disabilities.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Gloria. Or work with girls and the government to ensure that we reduce the cases of teenage pregnancy.
Thank you. Okay, I think they should add in commodities like the family planning services within the healthy facilities and community clinics. Like at Naguru, we have some community clinics. We offer services, free services, like when we go for outreaches, that is St. Stephen, Good Samaritan, and Alpha. So I think they should add in more commodities, whereby, because for us what we do, we move, like when you go for outreaches, like in communities, we move with our vouchers. So when you find like someone is interested in the service and she has no access to reach their facility, we'll be like, okay, in your community there is Good Samaritan. Just go with this voucher and you get free services. The next thing, I think this goes to the parents. They should be like more supportive to the youth, yes. Because when you're free with your parent, like you won't mess up. Yeah, I think that's all.
Thank you so much. Brief and to the point. Over to you, Jacob, in 2 minutes. If you could just tell us how best we can innovate around this issue.
Thank you. Firstly, I think that there needs to be voices with following speaking on these issues. If you know that Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga is passionate about women, get her on record for such things. And then get all the female ministers on record. Get all the members of parliament on record. Let them be speaking about these things. Most of these people don't think to speak about these things until it affects their vote. But if they spoke about those things by some sort of poking, okay, it will have the effect you need on ground. Secondly, we need vigorous sensitization. It always works. When we had record levels of dropping in HIV/AIDS prevalence, it was when we had Piastri, like she was saying. I joined Senior 1, and my first day in class, I got a magazine for Straight Talk. Then there was a Straight Talk club, was still there. There was an abstinence club. While we're still there, they began, it starts with me, the world starts with me. It was so much that I got so much information that I would not get in my rugby trainings. So it would never be substituted. Now, there are things that are available to our age that we need to take critical advantage of. She spoke about TikTok. If we can work ourselves to use the tools available to the age. I'll give an example. I have attended a couple of fireside chats online with certain organizations, but you'll find that the attendance is 40 to 50 people. However, if we actually decided that all of us that work in this field should be online at that time for this one, we will have at least 150 to 200 people. You need everyone to just send out 4 tweets and it's trending. And that conversation being present for a particular amount of time or a number of times is going to get the attention of everyone. Now, the final thing I'll propose is that we need pledges of action from people who need to talk about these things. If you know that this is an issue that we want a pledge of action from, let's get the principle of the Catholics. We go look for the Archbishop. We ask him, what is your view on these things? What is your pledge to action on these things? Let him give a pledge to action on priests and so on. These are things that I am willing to do and I am willing to chase on. It's just that I am not the person who will specialize on one thing because of my office nature. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jacob. And I think just by that, you're calling for a more concerted effort among all different young people. So I do not want this fireside chat to end without us hearing from at least 1 or 2 people from the audience, young people. If there's anyone who has a question or a submission, I will just take 2 because of time. Rolling back teenage pregnancies. Wow, you guys. Rolling back teenage pregnancies. Okay, great. Now you've woken up. Do we have anyone who would like to make a submission? Okay. We have another panel. Anyone? Anyone online? Okay. Okay. Now I'll just ask the panelists if you could give just one word or sentence of action that we can take away from here as we continue to have these very meaningful discussions around rolling back teenage pregnancies. I will start with you, Jacob.
Thank you. Very simply put, please don't give up on the fight if it is justified. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Yes, over to you, Sharat.
We are all in this together, women and girls together. So if you need help and you see a woman, help her. Or if you need help, seek for it. We are always here to help.
Thank you so much, Josephine.
Okay. For the teenage mothers, please don't lose hope. Have faith in yourself. You'll make it.
Thank you. Gloria.
Please try to involve youth, youth living with disabilities. Don't discriminate them when you find them. When you find one, have a chat with them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much to our wonderful panel. Just before I let them go, in conclusion, I think one of the most powerful things that they have said has been the importance of utilizing access to information, so making it more available, using the various tools that actually reach out to the young people, have more, innovative community actions, outreaches like community clinics, and then use the voices who already have a following. So use persons of influence to be able to reach out to more young people. This conversation is not over. We shall have another panel coming on in the afternoon. So hopefully if you have a question now, we can be able to address it when the panel after comes in, not afternoon. Yes, thank you so much. A round of applause for the panelists, please. And over to you, Johnson.
Every woman and girl has the right to freely and responsibly decide how many and when to have her children. World Contraception Day reminds us that we need to increase awareness around the different birth control methods that are available for this woman and her partner, that they may be able to decide how many children they want and when they want them for the best reproductive health outcomes.
When I think about World Contraception Day, especially in 2021, it's about have we shifted our discussion around who needs contraception the most. I think in Uganda we've seen, and probably in different parts of the world, that teenage girls are in crisis, that the rate of teenage pregnancies is exponential, and yet Uganda still remains one of the countries with the highest rate of teenage pregnancies traditionally. And so when we look at our discussions and our strategies and our ideas, are we now focusing on the young girls who actually need contraception and family planning the most?
As you know, young people may or may not be in control, but the sooner they get in control of their own sexual and reproductive health, the better. The current situation is dire. 1 out of every 4 girls in Uganda is pregnant by the age of 20, and much more so below the age of 18. And this means that many girls are not likely to continue with their school, and it's going to be a vicious cycle of girls not going to school, their babies not going to school. We know in some places in Uganda, like the Butaleja district, where there are 27-year-old grandmothers. This needs to stop. So for me, my call to action for each and every Ugandan is to ensure that all girls and young women reach their fullest potential. This potential includes them not having babies early and also being responsible for their reproductive health.
Research has shown that some of the main barriers to uptake of contraception, especially amongst adolescents, is one, the lack of information about contraception, as well as the lack of adolescent-friendly health services.
So my call to action for the different stakeholders and young people is that let us try hard to fight against teenage pregnancy. Let us give opportunity for these young people to learn, to train them so that they know about this. Because even HIV prevalence is high, but if they know about this, they can abstain. If they have the information, then they can know how to use their contraception, and so they will keep this information, and then they will not be victims. Thank you.
I see that our population growth, if you look at it, it's quite high in Africa. I think we have Guinea-Bissau, then you have Chad, and then Uganda. If you look at the population growth, currently we stand at about 3.1% every year. I don't think most of our youth really plan for families, so we have so many young families, and already now we are about 47 million Ugandans. In the next 10 years, if we are continuing with the same trajectory, the population will be so big. Do we have enough resources? I don't know. I don't think so. Do we have enough jobs for these youth that are coming into the market? I'm not so sure. Therefore, the question is, are we giving the youth and the families choice where they can actually decide which method they should actually use? No. I mean, if you look at the cost of condoms just as a contraceptive method, it's quite expensive. So the government needs to actually now do more. It needs to empower these youth to get easy access to these contraceptive methods, and also work with non-profit organizations to sort of entrench these solutions in the market so that we can have a population that we can plan for, empower and ensure that it actually impacts our economy at the same time.
A research by Guttmacher Institute, Makerere School of Public Health, and Public Health Ambassadors Uganda revealed that during the COVID-19 pandemic, in the initial lockdown of 2020, there was a large disruption in young people's access to contraceptive care. However, it also highlighted young people's need and demand for contraceptive care. It's the responsibility and commitment of the government of Uganda and its implementing partners to provide the services that young people need. Not only the services, but also the information that will be able to guide them to make the right decisions. Now more than ever, it lies upon each and every one of us to make young people's future brighter. With increased access and utilization of contraceptive care, we will be able to see more young people, especially adolescent girls and young women, stay longer in school, attain their dreams, and not be tied down by the responsibility of unwanted pregnancy.
All right, thank you so much, the production team. And I also want to thank Winnie Apio for conducting that interesting fireside chat, as well as the panelists, Mr. Jacob Eyeru, Namayanja Sheriat, Josephine Namuyengo, and Luinda Gloria. Thank you so much for sharing with us your experiences. I hope all of us, including everyone online, we are learning from some of these experiences, but we also want to listen to your stories, to your experiences, those who have joined or those who are catching this webinar online. So please, in the comment section, share your experiences. Do not forget the hashtags WCD, UG21, and the stage, UG. And we shall be sharing them and amplifying your voices. So we shall be having another panel session where we shall get to listen to some of the innovations from the implementers, sharing experiences around the innovations. But before we go into that, we're going to have a session of entertainment. So we're going to have back-to-back poetry performances. And allow me invite the first performance titled Born and Raised by the amazing Wake. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wake on stage.
Hello, my name is Wake. I am a young man with many dreams I chase. I am a poet with words I paint. I come from Panisa, where I was born and raised in Uganda, our blessed motherland. Yes, we are blessed. Blessed with the youngest population on the face of the planet. Blessed with our whole generation with the potential of some of the best innovations on the market. We are blessed with the potential of some of the most hardworking people. We are blessed with the potential of another Eddie Kenzo, another BET, another Nancy Katumbiya, omukyalo Munnayuganda ng'akola ku BBC. We are blessed. Blessed with an endless gold mine, precious minerals hidden deep inside our young people's bold minds. We are blessed, no doubt. The question is, how then can we sustainably extract these potential? How then can we channel this potential to the growth of the nation? The answer is easy, but not that simple. You see, the greatest cause of death or even loss of wealth has been traced back to the loopholes in our young people's reproductive health. The problem has been traced way back to things like lack of information. See, many of our youth find themselves in unpleasant positions, making life-threatening decisions simply because they were either uninformed or misinformed, and out of curiosity, they start to play around with their sexuality. You see, the problem has been traced back to things like limited access to contraceptives. Let's look at it from the COVID-19 perspective. Lockdown started with a couple of weeks, right? But for a couple that seeks to have sex outside the context of becoming parents, it becomes difficult, complex. You see, in this lockdown, many young people lost their sources of income, and actually, for many, the purchase of contraceptive methods became a luxury. I mean, if you are lucky enough to get 2,000 shillings a day, tell me, would you spend it on food or on a condom? Reminds me of what a boda man once said, "Mwana yokwekuma tuyimanyina yade tunalya kondomu." Dilemma. You see, our health system provides some of these contraceptive methods like condoms for free, but the problem can still be traced all the way back to things like proximity. You see, many of our young people stay miles away from the nearest health facility, and this greatly hinders their family planning capabilities. Ladies and gentlemen, the problems are known. The demand for the family planning methods is barely being met by the respective supplies. So let's not our small victories now lie to us. No, the fight is still on. A luta continua. A luta continua. A luta continua. This is a call to renew our efforts to make things better. A call to the government to invest more in the sexual reproductive health sector. A call to every single partner to support the government with the relevant data. A call to we the young people. We are the future. Let us actively get involved in the policy making structure. Let us make our voices heard in every reproductive health matter, because our lives matter, our minds matter. So let's fight to occupy them with productive thoughts. Let's not get distracted and trapped by the negative sides of the sexual reproductive box. Let us do this together as a family. For God and our country. My name is Wade, and I am a young man with many dreams I chase. I am a poet with many words I paint. I come from Palisa, where I was born and raised in Uganda. Thank you.
And gentlemen, performance. Very interesting how much poetry is powerful in communicating. From that performance, one interesting to get involved. So if you're a young person and you are watching on, this is a call to action to you. Get involved at the different levels where you can, so that we can together with the implementing partners increase access and improve innovations to increase access to contraceptives for our use, as well as the young people within our communities. So right now, before we go into another interesting conversation by the incredible moderator Winnie Apio, I'm going to invite another poetry performance that will warm us for the next conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, performing to a poem titled Pregnancy by Choice, allow me invite Destiny Gladys.
Hello everyone, I'm Destiny Gladys Chaiga, and a poet with Echo Minds, the first all-female poetry group in Uganda. This is a poem, Pregnancy by Choice. You are life. You are life. A blossom of blessings, embodiment of wonderful mystery. A legacy of human existence. You are captivating wonder. Carrying you is a beautiful blessing, and bringing you to this world is a bittersweet pill I don't mind swallowing. I don't mind traveling in this blessed procreation act. For everything worthwhile, I know, is often worked for. That is why children are a joy to the world. Yes, children are a joy to our world, and children are important. Like precious jewels, lucky is the man, they say, with a quiver full of them. But I still want to be in charge of that choice. I should make the decision with keen interest of when to have them, for time is of essence, and today we are here, yet tomorrow is never promised to anybody. I want to be in charge of the choice of how to have them. For how is vital, cause bearing them would be a wonderful blessing, but if wombs fail to bear these blessed fruits, adoption or surrogacy shouldn't be an abomination, so the decision not to even have children shouldn't be a loathsome act. Choice of why to have them is vital, for purpose and vision will guide them. Let pregnancy be a choice not to drop out of school when the defilement and rape cyclone drown us. Or when the first period at the age of 12 warrants kinsmen drinking palm wine, or drinking tonto, or any of the best wines. Count and count longhorn cattle for my dowry. A brutal exchange of the highest bidder, robbing of a chance to mature. Abomination, a rapture of teenage girls to early marriage. I want a choice to nurture those career aspirations, climb those ladders of professional heights, and have a glimpse of life at the other end. For a career isn't a landmark for not desiring children. A choice to decide when to get pregnant. I say a choice to decide when and how many to have children, so that life can bloom better as we bounce back better, as we recover stronger from COVID-19, rolling back teenage pregnancy as we innovate ways for increased access to contraceptive methods. So let us encourage planned pregnancy. For life is much better when decided on. Yes, for life is much better when decided on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that performance. That is Destiny Gladys giving us a poetry performance titled Pregnancy by Choice. Now, we're going to an interesting session. This is a session that we're going to learn from a lot, most especially for all of us young people that are interested in knowing the different innovations that are existing, as well as the different experiences of other young people in terms of using these innovations. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me invite Apio Winnie, who is going to take us through this session. And as Apio Winnie comes up, I'm going to request our welfare department, Camilla and Florence, could you sanitize our microphones here in front? And so for our panelists who are coming forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, Apio Winnie, please take over.
Thank you so much, Johnson. Johnson, just a minute. Thank you so much, Johnson, for that. And like he mentioned, this panel is going to be very engaging, especially because we are it's one thing for us to just talk about innovations, and another for us to find out what innovations are existing there. So as the welfare team is sanitizing, I wonder, Johnson, if I can take your place and suggest some kind of energizer. I feel like the room is dead. Yes? It's full of young people, but I don't feel the youth energy yet. So I would suggest a song and someone teaches us to dance. Yes? Johnson, over to you for this. Oh, I suggest a song. What's the song on TikTok that's... Is it Thank You by who? Thank God by Vinka? Kale. Thank God by Vinka. DJ, please. Stand up, stand up, stand up. I know you've all had tea. It's time we energize as we get our brains ready while the welfare team sanitizes. I'm calling someone forward who looks like she knows how to dance. Lady in a gray shirt with the word future crossed over. Yes, yes, please. Let's clap for her. Woo! Over to you. You didn't, you will. Okay, song, please. Okay, any song. It doesn't have to be Vinka. Oh, yes, she needs company. Do we want it to be gender balanced? Okay. Don't worry, you make the rules. I can't see many gentlemen. I don't know why they're hiding. Wonderful. Please start. We want to learn.
Celebration, more fire. Oh,
Do what they're doing.
Life is so sweet, Hosanna. So did they make the people thank God? No kingdom, but the people thank God. Come out as a candle. So did they make the people thank God?
If I see you not dancing, I'm going to call you in front.
No kingdom, but the people thank God.
Come out as
a candle. Thank God. When you come to the night party, thank God. Thank God. When you move your body, thank God.
Okay, thank you so much.
Fresh.
A round of applause. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so I hope we're now energized to have this very, very important discussion. Just to save time, I will quickly call our panelists. We are going to be having experience sharing from partners, specifically focusing on their beneficiaries, on some innovations that actually exist, and how we as young people can be able to take part in this innovation. So I would like to just call the organization, and if you represent this organization, please come forward. Naguru Teenage Center, Mary Stops Uganda, SRHR Alliance, Uganda, as well as Aga Khan Foundation. Please come forward. Okay, great. As we allow our panelists to take their seats, I would just like to remind us that we're also going to have some representation from Jumia online, yes, who will come in and be joining us and also sharing the innovation that they have. So welcome to our panelists. It's a great honor to have you with us today. We will just, if we can just go round, if you could tell us your name and which organization you're representing. I will start from my left.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Atfire Joan Patience. I am a peer working with Maristops Uganda.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm called Inyamo Thomas, peer educator, but also National Youth Advocate representing SRH Alliance Uganda.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shadia Wakab. I'm from Aga Khan Foundation, and I'm a TICO champion.
Thank you, Shadia.
Good afternoon, my fellows. Before I introduce myself, I want to send there's a message I want to send someone.
Yes, please.
Am I allowed?
Yes,
I'm
please.
sending this message to Mr. Panicky Attack to Gawe. I'm called Naiga Speciosa Cynthia. Cynthia Ledicola Sente. So from Nagul Teenage Center, a peer educator.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. I hope they received your greetings. So quickly, I don't know if the person online is on. We'll have her introduce herself when she joins us. But just quickly going into the discussion, as we have been hearing from, first of all, the report that Goodmatch presented on and Makerere University School of Public Health on the need for us to be able to make these contraceptive services more accessible to young people, to reach them where they are. I think Goodmatch have noted the need for us to reduce the burden on health workers. So benchmarking on that, we just want to know and to learn from you on what are some of the innovations that your organization is carrying out. And most importantly, how is it that me as a young person can be able to benefit from this innovation in order to be able to access more information and more services? So I will just throw the mic to Niger Speciosa from Naguru.
As Naguru Teenage Center, yes, we have numerous innovations they are doing to make awareness of the available contraceptives. And there are around 9 of them to 10. The first one is the peer model. The very key point is that this peer model, they gather young girls and boys who are in the same age to like those young fellows we want to reach and teach them various topics so that for them they can go and talk to them. Because these young men and these young people outside, they hear more from people of the same age than the adult people. Yes, they will get the point very quickly when a very young one is teaching them. And currently they are carrying out a life skill training presentation program, yes, for a week. In this, they are teaching these young ones. There are numerous skills they are teaching them. And one of them which I ruled out is skill of decision making. In this decision making, it will enable a young girl, a young boy, to know the repercussions of unprotected sex that will connect us to contraception. Yes? Then there is e-platforms. They form groups of They form groups of fellow young ones in a group. For the target is to teach this small one in a group, yes, so that they can go outside and elaborate and talk to others, yes. Then there is also a VHT program, and this VHT program, they allocate VHTs per facilities so that they can move around. You know, VHTs are the village health teams, which reach directly to the people in the society. So this VHT, they cooperate with other partners, yes, like other institutions. So this help Nagul Teenage Center to pass their information through these VHTs with help of other sectors. Nagul Teenage Center has also done creative display points for contraceptives. For example, condom is the best way. They beautify those boxes outside or inside the areas in the health facilities, so that this young one cannot go to the to disturb, because these young ones always fail to ask out those things. So they will just come and target, is he inside, is he outside? Then goes and pick what she wants or he wants. Then there is follow-up. They do follow-up. They do this through report making. And in this report making, they ensure that there is family planning reporting template. You can't report what you did do. So this will enable the health workers in those facilities they support to make sure they do those services in order to report at the end of the month. Yes? And there is mass sensitization, and this is done through radio talks mostly, and TV, those advertisements which go around. They always do in partnership or what, but still in that they pass that contraceptive trainings. We do a lot of outreaches and integrated outreaches, where we do the treatment and the health talks by the peers I told you about, they first teach. So these peers go and reach out to some community, they talk to those young ones. Afterwards, the health workers come in and give the services which they have talked about. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Niger. And I'll come back to you to speak specifically to you as a beneficiary to some of these programs. I would like to now throw the question to Thomas. What is the SRHR Alliance doing?
Thank you so much. SRHR Alliance is a consortium of 8 like-minded organizations, and which include Family Life Education Program. We have UNIPA, we have SEHAD, we have RRD, and we have Nafafano and FLEP. So we in SRHR Alliance, we envision a society whereby all young people have equal access to, like we envision a society where all young people have equal access to like services, and that help them to make the informed decisions. So in SRHR Alliance, we basically have the element of we give information, and then we also have services, because some of our partners do the service provision. So I think that's what we do basically in Alliance. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Thomas. I will come back to you again. Shadia, as you introduced yourself, you said you are a TICO champion? Ah, great. Could you talk to us more about what that means, and how Aga Khan Foundation is innovating around making contraceptives accessible to young people?
Thank you so much. TICO is a digital platform that is put in place to empower young girls, adolescent girls, between the age of 15 to 19. And here, we empower them through getting free health services, specifically dealing with the reproductive system. That's we give out HIV testing, STIs, UTIs, but we pioneer mostly contraceptives. And on top of that, we give girls reliable information on how to fight teenage pregnancies through our trained mobilizers. How we are making contraceptives accessible to young girls. First of all, this is a digital platform whereby we engage girls and enroll them to our platform. And after them getting enrolled to our platform, they can get free services, free contraceptive services. How do we enroll these girls onto our platforms? First of all, we have mobilizers that are well trained. They go out there and talk to these young girls. We target mostly sexually active girls. Those are the ones that we give contraceptives, and others we give them related information that in case at any time she needs a contraceptive or anything, she'll make an informed decision. Then secondly,
we have peer-to-peer, whereby a mobilizer has talked to this girl, and right now she's a champion on her own. She knows at least the basics of her health and what kind of contraceptives she can use as a girl, and she talks to another girl at the end of the day. Then we also have self-enrollment, whereby our platform, we are on different social media platforms. We are on WhatsApp, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter. So a girl maybe can come across a poster about TICO, and maybe she enrolls herself. So we have different types of enrollment. We have girls that enroll through SMSs, and then we have girls that enroll through WhatsApp, and these ones are either helped by a mobilizer, or it can be self-enrollment, or it can be peer-to-peer. Then we have also digital cards for those girls that don't have cell phones. They can get digital cards and then go get a health service that's free of charge. Then we also have Facebook, whereby a girl can enroll. So we are working with several service providers. We are working with a number of pharmacies and clinics. We are working with RHU, Mary Stops. We are working with some hospitals like St. Stephen's. We have a number of clinics. These girls where they can go for services. Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Shadia. And last but not least, if I could call in John to speak to a bit about what Mary Stops is doing, brief and to the point, so we can get to further discussions.
Okay, so as Mary Stops, our motto first of all is children by choice and not by chance. So our strategy in supporting young people's access to services, family planning and contraceptive services and information has been, is based on 3 pillars. And the first one is demand generation, where we get to inform the communities about what services we have and how they can access them. And in this pillar, we have been using peer educators, we've been using community drives to basically reach out to people and inform them that these are the services we have and here is how you can get them. Part of that pillar, we also have cards that look like this. These are called Refer a Friend cards. So these cards are given out to the peers who come and attend our community dialogues, and they share them with their friends. On this card, it has a toll-free number where they can call to access information and services. It has the kind of information and services that we offer. We offer contraceptive services, we offer family planning services, and that is what we major on for the young people. We also have Mary Stops Hospital currently that is doing deliveries. But when we go to the communities, these are the cards that we major on to give out this information. We also have service provision, where we work with service providers. If we have private sector service providers in the private sector who may not be willing to offer services to adolescents or young people, we engage in training, we engage in supervision to empower them with an understanding of how to relate with young people. And we are doing this both for government health facilities and also private health facilities. And in this way, we are supporting access to information, access to services at a very minimal cost for people all over the country. We also engage with community leaders, the gatekeepers in our community. We engage with the local council leaders, the COWs, the RDCs, and we work with them to ensure that they are informed on the need for young people to access these services and information. Yes, in summary.
Thank you so much for that, Joanne, and thank you to all panelists for just sharing briefly what some of the innovations that your representative organizations do for young people. So just quickly, in a minute each, if you could speak to, as a young person, because I'm thinking, you know, young people in the audience or young people even listening in online, I would like to know how to be a part of these various innovations that you are speaking of. I want to access contraceptive services. What are some of those innovations that I can take advantage of, and how can I do that? So 1 minute each, if you can just speak to that. Yes, you can start with me.
Oh, excuse me. For Nagul Teenage Center, it is in various health centers. They've located, they have put VHTs and peer educators in all facilities, mostly government facilities, especially around Kampala, Kawala. There are a lot of government facilities. Or else you could go and follow Nagul Teenage Center on their website and go follow. They'll show you where to get everything.
Okay, thank you. So government health facilities as well as Nagoro Teenage Center on the social media pages. Okay. Yes. Thomas.
For us in SRH Alliance, we have our partners, which partners have peer educators. So in other words, we use the peer education module, and then we also have the community health entrepreneurs. So these are youth champions, they are youth advocates. With the peer educators, you find that they are stationed in almost all our all our health centers that we actually work with. And then we also have the CHEs, which CHEs like our CHEs have been given the services. Like for example, we have some affordable services. We have services like some antibiotics. We also have services like condoms. We also have services like cyanopress. So you find that these CHEs move in their communities, and then they try to give this information, but also with the services to people who need them at a very affordable prices. And then the peer educators, they do the linking of clients at the facility. They also have youth-friendly corners in our facilities, which youth-friendly corners have been used for disseminating information about SRHR they use these youth corners for disseminating the SRHR services. So I think those are some of the innovations we do in SRH Alliance. And then we also have the outreaches. Like our team, some of our partners do carry the outreaches. They organize some outreaches, which outreaches are organized to give the information and services to the community people. We also have the research and then the advocacy team. So in this, we do the online advocacy, giving information to people like we do here by like tagging, doing the hashtag, and then, yeah, I think that's basically what the innovations we do in Alliance to disseminate the information.
Yes, thank you so much for that, Thomas. Joanne?
For us at Maristops, when you finally call us and you visit our health center, first of all, we specialize in family planning services and contraceptives. So when young people walk into a center of ours, they're guaranteed quality service, customer care, like customer care in every way that I can say it. They're not going to be harassed for their sexual and reproductive health rights choices, which is very important to us. Also, as Maristops, we have prioritized young people's participation in extending these services in the communities. So we have young people like me working in referring access and mobilization of other young people to access these services. We have the peer-to-peer model. This is refer a friend. We also have the Maristops ladies who are retired midwives who are advocating for other people to access services from Maristops centers, Maristops clinics, and generally government health facilities. So as Maristops, we really work hard to ensure that young people feel at home, that young people are not judged for their choices, and we have coverage all over the country. Our outreaches are evidence-based. We don't just wake up one morning and decide to have an outreach somewhere. Is there a need for that outreach in that particular place? So we have over 154 Blue Star facilities, which are private entities that are offering family planning services in partnership with Maristops. And we have 32 outreach teams that go out to communities countrywide to advocate for access to contraception, to teach people how to use these services. And we have 480 plus public health facilities that we work with, offering them training, offering them supervision, offering them services.
Thank you so much for that, Joanne. And I hope the online team will be able to share some of these clinics and how we can be able to reach them as young people. So finally, Shadia, in a minute.
Joining the TICO platform is very easy. If there is any young person watching me out there, I can say it as maybe they are trying out, they will see that it's easy. To join the TICO platform, anyone who has a phone, you just go to your SMSs and you type enroll, and then you send it to 8118. So after sending it to 8118, they will give you just simple questions, just like any account you're opening. They will ask you your gender and year of birth. Then we have a very good data policy whereby we take just minimum data. So they will just ask you about your data policy when you accept. Then you will go on, and then they will you will click in a trigger that is a clinic. They will guide you every step of the way. When you put in enroll to 8118, they will guide you. They will ask you questions. Remember, we are dealing with 15 to 19-year-olds, and we are dealing with girls. So when they ask you for the gender, it's female. When they ask you for the year, make sure you're between 15 to 19. Otherwise, the system will kick you out. So we also have our WhatsApp number whereby you can, you just send enroll still. Our WhatsApp number is +256 32 32 00 632. You just send enroll and they will send you texts. What's your gender? What's your year of birth? The privacy policy, and then they'll also show you the clinics that we are dealing with in your specific areas where you are. Right now we are operating in 3 divisions. That's Nakawa, Kawempe, and Central. So yeah, that's literally how a girl can get onto our platform easily. But we also have mobilizers on ground that are going through these girls.
Okay. Thank you so much, Shadia. Thank you so much to our esteemed panel. We are just about to end this session. But once again, I would like to give a minute or two to anyone in the audience who may either have a submission, a question for our panelists. Anything? You want tea? I'm joking. Okay then. If we do not have any reactions from the audience, I'll just like to once again thank our panel of beneficiaries as well as peer educators from different partner organizations, Maristops, Naguru Teenage Center, SRHR Alliance, as well as Aga Khan Foundation. I'd like to request that we give them a round of applause as they leave the stage. Thank you so much.
Much, ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate the panel once again. And I also want to thank Winnie Apio for moderating. You've been such a wonderful moderator for the 2 amazing panels we've had. Again, I want to remind everyone, the theme is innovations for improved access to contraceptives for young people. And this conversation is not ending today, it's ongoing. So please continue the conversations online. And do not forget the hashtags WCDUG21 and stage UG21. Share your experiences, whether you're a young person, what are your experiences in regards to accessing contraceptives, as well as utilizing them? Are you a service provider? What are some of the innovations you have? Please share them, including the hashtags, so that the young people can access that information. So, right now, we're going to have a presentation about the stage. When you hear the word the stage, what comes to your mind? It's such a captivating statement or word that could mean a lot of things. But most importantly, it implies a lot of expectations. So, I want to invite Josephine Zen from UNFPA, who is going to take us through that stage so that we as young people, we get information about that stage.
Some sanitization here. Sanitizer. Thank you so much. We have to be very, very... Thank you so much, Lilibet. Lilibet from FAO. Thank you. Thank you, Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, the stage, like Johnson noted, it brings so much of expectation when you just talk about the stage, when you're ushered to the stage. And here we are. I would like to, first of all, introduce myself. My name is Josephine Omnidejane, and I work with the UNFPA. The stage happens to be one of the innovation initiative by UNFPA. It is very clear currently that the statistics are speaking that teenage pregnancies are on the rise. I'm giving an example. And the country is really hit hard. It's more of a pandemic within a pandemic. And here we are saying, under the theme of the World Contraceptive Day, we are rolling back teenage pregnancies amidst COVID-19. As young people, what innovations are you thinking about? What innovations are you bringing to life in this regard? Well, as UNFPA, the innovations are flowing. We are giving you the platform. Johnson, I need your help here. We are giving you the platform to be able to innovate. And this is the stage that we are trying to usher you to. If you will look at what is being shared currently, it is not the usual. It is one that is out of the box. It is the stage, creating access to so much that requires change in our various communities. And our call as UNFPA, having created this initiative, the stage, is to usher you, young people, the youth, to step up, take up the stage, because it is yours. It is a community of innovators for social change, and it is going to come from you, the young people. Even before I get into introducing to you just introducing to you what the stage is about. There is the URL. Feel free to check it out. www.thestageug.org. Yes, thank you. So clearly, like I noted, it is a UNFPA initiative. Much it is an initiative for UNFPA. It is a hub for the young people, the youth, to come and convene, spark collaboration. It is a platform where we acknowledge and celebrate the champions of social change in this country. We are leveraging on the power of building communities to create the momentum to drive the much needed change in our various communities, and the power actually lies with you, the young people. Clearly, the stage is yours. I am inviting you to come and take up the stage. Yes, it may be a web-based tool, but it is way much more than just a web-based tool. Are you an innovator, an entrepreneur? Are you a leader? In whichever sector you're in, are you a creator, the creatives? This is the platform, this stage, for you to come and engage, showcase, convene, and create. When we talk about this as young people, I believe it sparks your, all the way from the medulla to the medulla oblongata. Those are the brain. I believe it sparks, the ideas to just flow. And indeed, as UNFPA, we are inviting you to innovate. Do the needful. It is a place for you to just come, take up your space, innovate. You need mentorship? There is a mentorship hub there. Are you an entrepreneur like asked in advance? It flows right there. It is a hub where those that are also seeking for volunteer opportunities will be able to come up and be able to partake of what is available. It is a 360. We currently have over 20 champions of social change in the country featured on the stage, a number of organizations. We have partners, but this is also growing. We are really privileged to have a Public Health Ambassadors of Uganda host this activity in commemoration of the World Contraception Day, the youth webinar. It is part of the stage. Let's rise up. Let us speak about it. Let us create. Let's think out of the box and just showcase what we are made of. I would like to also acknowledge the Uganda Network of Young People Living with HIV/AIDS, UNIPA, and Reach a Hand Uganda, RAHU, and the behind-scenes partners, Outbox, as part of the stage. We are still growing. I talked about the convening element. It goes back to the theme for this youth webinar, innovations for improved access to contraceptives for young people and beyond. It doesn't have to be about contraceptives. Let's think it, let's ideate it, let us convene and bring it to the stage. There is a platform there about creating, one that just gets you into the ideology mode, in ideation mode, I must say, to create. Feel free to go right there onto thestageug.org, look up for create, submit whatever kind of idea it is. It will be confidentially handled, but it will also give you an opportunity to collaborate, perhaps find a donor, partner with another, and get things moving. When it comes to the arts, are you doing whatever you're doing with music, with film, and you are bringing about social change? Let us showcase it. Many of us are entrepreneurs. The stage is an opportunity for you to come and just showcase, collaborate, partner, but also create visibility for what it is you're doing. For the young people again, let us engage in the various areas. Are you a cohort of sorts? Are you an individual? An opportunity for you to volunteer, get things moving, inspire others, as long as you are creating social change in this country. We believe that even with the stage, much as the news is there, whatever is happening, let us put it out there for you. It is actually something you can pull off on your own, get in, log in, and just submit what it is you want to submit. We will definitely look at it and be able to get it happening. Volunteer opportunities I talked about, internships, you will be checked out there by the so many organizations that are taking shape. The mentorship hub that I talked about, we should be having the mentorship hub happening pretty quick, where the older generation meets the younger. You will be able to go in there, choose a mentor of your choice, and just keep your idea moving. Let's innovate. It is what we are made to do as young people. Like I noted in the beginning, I invite you, the young people, the entrepreneurs, multi-skilled in whichever sector you are, to convene, to showcase, to ideate, innovate, create. The other words may be, synonyms, but let's engage. Feel free to come on and blog. You want to mentor, even much as you are an 18-year-old, it is the stage. It is yours. Just come and take up the stage. Let's collaborate. Let us rise as entrepreneurs. It is the time. Let's create the much needed social change in our communities. Thank you so much. Yeah, Johnson, over to you.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's appreciate Josephine for the presentation about the stage. As Josephine was presenting, in my mind, I was thinking about the creatives who are out there. Some of them have performed this afternoon. Others you are watching online, others you are there. I think the stage is an open space platform for us to pour out our creativity and share it with other young people in Uganda and all over the world. So I call upon all creatives to embrace and be part of the stage. So right now, we're going to have a presentation from Jumia, who will be briefly sharing with us some of their innovations. Their innovation, which is the e-shop, we need to learn more about it. If you're a young person, this is an interesting session for you, as many of us are using Jumia for shopping, so you'd want to know what innovations they have in regards to contraceptive access. And after Jumia, we shall have an amazing poetry performance. But before we do that, allow me invite the Chief Marketing Officer from Jumia, who will be joining us online. The production team will make that possible. Yes, so let us all tune our attention to the screen, and we shall have a presentation from Jumia. Thank you.
Hi, I hope you can hear me okay. I've been listening in here for a couple of hours, and I just want to kick us off with saying a big thank you to UNFPA, to the partners for arranging this, and to the panelists, the performers for sharing your stories, It's been really inspirational, and I'm bringing a lot of value from this to Jumia, and thinking already about what else we can do as next step. But let me start with introducing you briefly to what we have been doing in partnership with UNFPA. Before I jump right into it, just to provide some context, I'm sure most of you know about Jumia, but if there's anyone who does not, we are the largest e-commerce platform in Africa and Uganda. In a year, or in last year more specifically, we as the Jumia app and the Jumia website received over 30 million visits to our website and app. This means that we have a big responsibility. We have a very large reach in Uganda and a great opportunity to share this reach with for important purposes like our partnership now with UNFPA. In addition to this, our big reach online, we also have hundreds of pickup stations around the country. Let me see, I think we are back. I will go ahead and continue. Thank you. All right. So yeah, in addition to the reach that we have on our platforms, we also have physical reach. And this is through our hundreds of pickup stations around the country where consumers are able to pick up their deliveries, anything that they order on the Jumia platform. Further, we also have a network of what we call J-Force agents. Oh. Seems like we're off. Okay, I think it looks like we are back. Someone please go ahead and stop me if the connection is breaking up too much. But I will go ahead and continue. So I was mentioning that, yes, we have physical reach as well with our pickup stations around the country, but we also have something that we refer to as the J-Force network, which is, for all of you who are young and keen to get extra work out there, I encourage you to look up this. So our J-Force agent network is essentially our direct connection with with communities that might not be spending so much time online. Okay. Okay, it looks like we are back again. I will go ahead and try again. So our J-Force agent network is our direct connection to communities and people that are not necessarily spending their time online or might not have access for one reason or the other to our app or website. So as a J-Force agent, you work on behalf of Jumia and you earn a commission if you manage to make sales to your community members or friends or family members. So this was just to outline the reach we have in Uganda, both online and offline actually. So just to the point of what we have already done together with UNFPA, well, we have ensured that we have enlisted a number of suppliers with reproductive health products on our platform. Together with support from UNFPA, we are working with supplier and strategic partners for this. So as of today, we have over 200 products listed on our platform. So that means that they're readily available to be ordered and delivered to your doorstep for anyone who wants to. In addition to this, we also have our Jumia Food app, as I'm sure you have seen if you live in Kampala. So with Jumia Food, we have worked with and expanded on our pharmacy network together with UNFPA. So we currently work with about 20 pharmacies around in Kampala. So that essentially means that you will access reproductive health products, sexual reproductive health products, contraceptives. And I'm just going on the video to see whether I'm back or not. Yeah, so that means that when we have enlisted these pharmacies, a client or a customer or a person in Kampala can get sexual
Eliana, are you there?
Okay. I'm still here. I'm just stopping when it looks like the camera is freezing, so I'm suspecting that you don't hear me.
No, we can hear you now.
Should I go ahead and continue?
Yes, you should.
I think people in the whole are having connectivity challenge.
Yeah.
But online we are fine.
Online we are fine. Okay. Okay. Let me continue. Yeah. So I was saying that with the pharmacies that we are working with Jumia Food, it means that we
Eliana, we seem to have lost you there. I'm wondering, the production team, is she on?
Recording in progress. Pricing challenges from their existing suppliers, etc. Further from in addition to this, I think one of the key things that we have been doing so far with UNFPA is that we're also utilizing our platform for driving awareness around sexual reproductive health products being available. That means that we have ads running on our desktop or on our website and on our app, but it also means that we are strategically utilizing our existing marketing channels. We have very powerful tools where we can target customers on the platform based on their different behaviors, and we can directly reach out with information around sexual reproductive health products and the availability of those on the Jumia platform. I think this is also extra important because, when we run adverts about sexual reproductive health products on the Jumia platform, we also hopefully have a positive impact on reducing the stigma around this. I think we are, as Jumia, very well aware of the responsibility we carry as a brand. We know that a big portion of our customers and the people that visit our platforms fall in the young population. And we know very well that Jumia tends to be an aspirational brand that many young people look to for inspiration. So with this in mind, I think that the awareness part of this and being affiliated to such an important cause is something that we take great pride in and something that we want to strategically continue doing. So that's really what we have done so far, but in my opinion, and I think UNFPA would agree, is that we have really just scratched the surface yet. So just to give you a little bit of insight in what we are hoping to do next, we have already kind of taken on Kampala, but we have, as I mentioned, Jumia has great presence now in outside of Kampala in other parts of the country. So with this in mind, we are planning to utilize our pickup stations and our J-Force agents around the country to be able to reach out further and provide access to these products outside of Kampala. So what we're currently planning to do, hopefully we'll get it kicked off soon, is that we will work with our J-Force agents and train them on these topics. and allow them to reach out in their communities and ensure that the community members are aware that they can find these products on the Jumia platform and that they will in fact be able to get it delivered to their doorstep. So this is the outlook for the future, but again, we have just scratched the surface, and you know, on behalf of Jumia, we're extremely happy to contribute to this cause, and we recognize as a representative from the private sector that we carry a great responsibility to in fact share the audience that we have been able to acquire over the years. And we are always open to hear both from the youth and from the partners, you know, very open to hear ideas for what else we could be doing. And we are really looking forward to see where this partnership takes us in the next couple of years. I'm happy to take any questions if there is any.
Thank you so much, Iliana. That is a presentation from Iliana coming from Jumia. I hope we have learned a lot from there. I know many young people use Jumia for various products, but therein she has presented some of the new innovations Jumia has in regards to contraceptive access. So if you're a young person, because of time we may not take live questions, but if you have any question, please post it in the comment section. Make sure to include the hashtags, and we will be able to follow up some of those questions and relay them to the concerned parties, most especially Jumia, as well as UNFPA Uganda. Thank you so much, Elena, for that presentation. We are running short of time, but we are coming towards the end of these conversations. As we do that, allow me invite a poetry performance to spice up the afternoon. It's a performance by a young person by the name of Birungi Ashley, who is also one of the top finalists or top 10 finalists from the recently concluded CPS competition and in terms of poetry and storytelling. So ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy a wonderful poetry performance from Ashley Birungi.
I didn't know how life-changing it would be. I didn't know the chokehold it would have over me. I didn't know. I didn't know how life-changing it would be. I didn't know the chokehold it would have over me. Crowd chasing got the better of me. I just wanted to fit in. I wanted a voice at the table of experience, not to just sit and hear their experience. I didn't know. I didn't know what contraceptives were. I thought maybe there was some type of drug. Confused and vulnerable, I was an easy target. So naive, I let him use me for practice. Promises of love and care used as spells to get me to adhere. But once he got what he wanted, he just disappeared. I didn't know. I didn't know how much my voice at the table would cost me my freedom, my sanity, my education. I can barely take care of myself, let alone another extension of me. I can barely take care of myself, let alone another extension of me. I didn't know. Religion shoved down my throat, forced to follow rules I don't even understand. Reproductive health, a religious taboo, so no reason to educate the youth. But we all know what happens when you forbid the youth. They die of curiosity and go and find the truth. I didn't know. I didn't know how much culture had such a great influence over us. We tend to deny the ancestral influence. But just look at the trend of our generation, from your greats to your mother, uneducated and all child mothers, like mine. But I was supposed to be different. I was supposed to change the roots. I was supposed to break the generational curse. If only I had known. I didn't know. I didn't know that the rate of teenage pregnancy was 25%, one of the highest worldwide, but now I am a part of that statistic. Disowned and on my own, I have no idea how I'm going to take care of that child. I didn't know how important reproductive health was. What is supposed to be a curriculum requirement is just a by the way. Schools closed and now my nightmare is spreading. Access to this information is becoming even harder. But we thank those initiatives to ensure that we believe the same people who told me that I still have a future, that my life isn't over. I realized I didn't know, but he did. And it's not uncommon for those older than me and very informed to use those of us weaker than them. And those so much older. It is not uncommon to be used by those older than me just because I am weaker. But ladies and gentlemen, refuse to be used and refuse to be lied to. That love and attention, those simple memories, don't just throw your life away for a terrible memory. I didn't know, but now you do. I believe the way forward is to put the youth at the front line, equip the youth with tools of change. Just as I am here today, a leader of the resistance, I urge you all to do the same. I didn't know, but now I do.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much, Ashley Birungi. Such a powerful performance. I didn't know, but now I know. You may be there, a young person, probably she's sharing some of your experiences. Probably you've gone through some things because you didn't know. Now you know. Maybe some of you have seen experiences of others, but the most important thing is that now we know, but also to the implementing partners, this is an opportunity for us to fill that gap in regards to contraceptive information and services for young people. Can we fill that gap? That is a commitment for us to continue pursuing. So, we've had a long afternoon, very interesting conversations, and I believe we have learned a lot. I want to just have someone kind of summarize this conversation. They are very interesting, and here I'm just going to choose at random, so I'm going to get someone off guard to just come and summarize for us, but also remind us of the opportunities, not just the challenges, but the opportunities as well as the commitments that all of us, whether we are young people or implementing stakeholders, that we have towards rolling back teenage pregnancy, towards accelerating innovations for improved access to contraceptives for young people. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me hijack and invite Anne Sizomo to come and just summarize these conversations for us. Let's appreciate and welcome Anne once again as she makes her way here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I know that there is curfew, so yeah, thank you very much, everyone. And wow, it's been quite an engaging few hours. I feel like we've been here like the whole day, yet it's just a few hours of the afternoon that we've been here. So amazing stuff. Let's clap for ourselves and everyone who is online. We want to thank you so much, and we want to thank you, especially the young people who have been online, and all the partners. We want to really thank the ministry in absentia for its support and convening us. We want to thank the Australia Development Corporation for really making this happen and making it really youth friendly. I recall when we were bouncing ideas with FAO and the whole team led by Lilbert, it was like, what can we try, what can we really try to bring on the table, which is really, breaking down the issues around contraceptives and ensure that young people at the forefront. So a lot of these ideas came in, and I'm so glad that in a period of about maybe a month or two, we've been able to really also bring, the poetry and art at the forefront, and amazingly done by young people who have passion of art in terms of passing on the message. So it's really been very, very amazing. We know that teenage pregnancy is not going to go away by just talking. But all I can say is that we all have a part to play. If you have a talent, if you have passion, use that to make a change, one at a time. If you have then the resources, let's mobilize ourselves and be able to change really our communities, and one by one, the country will change. We can no longer, wait. And I think quite a lot has been done, but the change is extremely slow and it's not acceptable. We shouldn't be having adolescents really getting pregnant. But that is happening, and it's getting worse. So if we to roll back, it means that we need to innovate. We need to learn from each other. We need to adopt. We don't necessarily need to compete. We need to bring strength together, and everyone contributes in the area that they have the advantage over the other. And I think this is where I call also young people, let's not stop talking. Let's not knocking the doors. Let's not kicking the doors if that's what will make it open. Because by the end of the day, it's us in it. I'm saying us because I don't know when I was last 24, but I've been part and parcel of really the youth movement and all that. So it is very important that we remember that it may seem like it's too big or too much, but it's possible if all of us took the little actions that we can do within our power. If you've learned something here today, pass it on to another young person. Talk to them. Talk to them, refer them. You've heard about Naguru Teenage Center, you've heard about Marie Stops, you've heard. So there's something that can be done. And like Ashley has pointed out, she didn't know. But now you know. So when you know, you get to know better by sharing information. There's that toll-free line, meaning that you can call for free and ask. Don't be afraid to ask. Ask. And where you have the opportunity, demand from our leaders, demand from us, hold us accountable and say we need better. If your voices are concerted and you never stop asking, then we'll be able, all of us who are adults, all of us who are, agencies, everyone will be able to listen. So use your art, use your talent, use your gift, and use your space. Don't go in the space to say, this is my space here. Go there, learn something, take back and make a change. So even those who are online, learn something, share the video, do what you can within your power, because I believe all of us have something that we can do within our power. Let's not wait for the other to actually do. Take the action, share the ideas. The stage is there as a platform. Just reach out and do what you can do there, yeah? Let's not just complain. Let's say, the stage is there. What can I do? How can I use my talent? How can I use that platform to reach other young people, to reach other adult or other CSOs? Utilize that and let's keep moving. let's not just end the conversation here. Please use the opportunity. Jacob has been here all throughout, and we want to thank you so much, Jacob, and for your leadership with the National Youth Council. It's something that we really don't take for granted, and we appreciate. Reach out, you are youth, reach out. Jacob is online, he's accessible. Reach out and say, I have this idea. Maybe he will know, since he represents everyone, every young person, every youth in Uganda. Let's utilize that voice. Let's utilize all the opportunities that we have, and bring the ideas on the table, and let's take action. Without action, nothing is going to change. So let's all take action so that we ensure that actually, as young people, you're empowered, you can make decisions regarding your body, your sexual and reproductive health, and you're also in position to actually realize your potential. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Anne. So I want to remind all of us that the conversation is not stopping here. So let's continue the conversation on innovations for improved access to contraceptives for young people. Online, go to the Stage UG Facebook page, Twitter page. Continue your conversations there, share your experiences. Also, you can go to our Twitter account of FAO Uganda, as well as the Facebook. Let's continue the conversations there. Young people, share your experiences, share your ideas, your thoughts. The implementers, share the expenses of your products, share the innovations. Let's continue these conversations, because remember, at the end of the day, it is our unified efforts to make this happen. So let's continue the conversations, and those conversations will turn into actions, and those actions will turn into results. So I want to thank everyone who has been with us since the beginning of this webinar. And as we come to the end, I want to remind us of our commitment, all of us, to ensure an improved access for contraceptives. Remember, we are in challenging, unusual times of the pandemic, but at the same time, we have to remember that the teenage pregnancy pandemic has been existing before COVID. So the fight is still on. Let us come together and we progress this fight to another level so that we see a reduction in teenage pregnancies. Thank you so much. I've been Johnson Kiza moderating, and I want to invite everyone else to come in front. We're going to have a photo moment. So please come with your masks. Here in front, we shall have a photo moment. And also, in the next room, we have an interview panel for those who would like to say something. There's a team there. But ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's youth webinar. I want to thank every young person online. Thank you so much for being patient. Thank you so much for listening and for contributing. Let's continue the conversations online. Thank you so much, Len Production, for producing this wonderful webinar. Thank you so much, every other partner. Ladies and gentlemen, let's come forward for a photo moment. Thank you so much.
Wiggy, 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 wagga, wagga, me no care.